to have you here. Are you enjoying Scotland?
I am, yeah, I am. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the convention centre's nice.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And I believe you brought your mum.
Yeah.
Your mum's over there, isn't it?
Say hi, Mum.
Hi, Joe, as well. Normally I do pre-prepared questions and I'll talk about, how you get into acting and all that kind of stuff. We've got a line, as far as, right out there. So we're going to go straight into the questions. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
And we can keep, one question, try and keep it to one question, and we'll try and get through as many as we can. So say your name and what question you'd like to ask. So first up we've got, for Charlie.
Hi, I'm Roxy.
Hi, Roxy.
Hi. I think Daredevil's amazing and I love all the Marvel projects he's been in. So my question is, what was it like putting on the Daredevil costume for the first time?
The first ever time?
Yeah.
So there's actually kind of a funny story about that. So those of you who've seen the show will know that the first red suit Daredevil costume was in the final episode of the first season, right? So it was, I think, episode 13. So by the time we got to it, we'd been shooting the show for 6 months already. And I got to know everyone, I knew the crew and I were already good friends, and I'd seen drawings of the costume, and I was waiting I had loads of fittings. I had to go to Los Angeles and have my whole body scanned so that it fit right. And there was just a huge amount of excitement about putting on this costume for the first time. And so about a couple of weeks before we were going to shoot in it, they had me try it on, and they wanted to do a camera test. So you put the whole suit on for the first time and they film you. So they took me to this kind of warehouse, and there was loads of secrecy, and I had to wear this cape so no one saw me. I was trying to really keep it, a secret. And so I went into this warehouse, and the camera crew were there, and they filmed me in the costume. And there was just this really weird. Everyone was so excited, and then there was this really weird energy. And everyone was quiet. No one was really saying much, and I just remember thinking it's a bit strange. Anyway, we finished the camera test, I left, I took it off, and then I was making my way home, and I saw the cameraman, the DP, who I knew really well at this point. I was like, Matt, was it me, or was that quite a weird feeling in the room? And he said, yeah, we got a problem. I was like, what? And he goes, the suit maraise. So, for those of you who don't know what that means, there are certain fabrics that you can't use on camera because of the way the fabric's stitched or made. Every time you move, it looks like there's a shimmer or a wave in it. And apparently the costumers had ordered the wrong material, and they'd made this whole suit and it was unusable. Couldn't shoot it. So they had 2 weeks to remake it, and it's very expensive. So so there was this crazy rush to try and get the suit remade in the right fabric. Anyway, that was a very long story, sorry.
Is it breathable? I always think that with superhero suits. Is it, because it can get a bit more hot and sticky?
Yeah, doing stunts in it is not very comfortable. But you look cool, so
there you go.
Part of it. Yeah. Cool. And it's not easy to go to the bathroom either.
Oh, right.
That's a whole process.
Is it a couple of people to help you out?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Next up.
Hi there, Charlie. I'm Reese. How you doing?
Good, thanks, Reese.
I just want to say you look amazing in Stardust playing Tristan. And also, I want to know, would you say "They Who Dare" wins?
Oh, can you actually say it? Or is that a rhetorical question?
It's a question.
Oh, it's a question.
Yeah.
Those who dare win.
Yeah, would you say?
Do I agree with that statement?
Yeah.
No, but I don't know if winning's the point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I think. Well, maybe in some way you win something.
Yeah, in a
You
way.
know, yeah. But I've got young kids, and and one thing, you know, the young kids at a certain age become obsessed with winning, and as a parent, it's trying to teach them that it's not that important, and just make sure I always beat them, you know.
The kids are a bit like Daredevil, they have no fear at all.
Yeah, you have to sometimes win, otherwise they'll never learn. Do you know what I mean?
How old are your kids? like 1, 2.
They're 4 and 8.
Oh,
you know. Yeah. So you know, it's important. You got to life. Sometimes you don't win, but it's not just
flipping the Monopoly board.
Yeah.
Thanks for that question.
Thanks,
We're going to try and get
Thanks,
through as
mate.
late as possible. Next up, we've got
Hi, my name is Alex.
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 What's your question?
So I just have the one question. So my question in particular is based more upon you, Charlie, as your role as an actor. And
As what?
So with you recently being cast in reprising your role from the Daredevil series, which was cancelled in 2018. And now recently you seem to be coming back to the character of Matt Murdock. So I was wondering, which approach did you take to get back into character when you returned to the role of Matt Murdock?
So, you know, essentially it's the same character. What the writers had done was they'd written quite a big time jump from when we finished in 2018 to where we pick up in Born Again. There's a bit of a time jump, and so I had long conversations with them about what's happened in between. Other than what we know. So we know he went to LA and had a fling with She-Hulk. And we know that there was some Spider-Man stuff. But then obviously you have to use your imagination to figure out, well, what's been going on in his life, what's been happening in New York, you know, and kind of incorporate those experiences into who the character is, where we meet him at the beginning of the new season. So, but essentially it's the same guy, you know. He looks very similar to the old character, just a little bit older.
Thanks for your question.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Hi Charlie. My question is now that Daredevil is back in the MCU, my question is what superhero would you want to see Matt Murdock work with?
Yeah, so I don't really answer that question, and the reason I don't answer it is because as soon as I say something, it becomes like a news story, and then I worry that the grown-ups at Marvel will try and do something different. You know, I don't want to jinx anything. But having said that, it was, you know, it would be. I would love to get the opportunity to team up with a certain character who I've met as a lawyer. You know, I'd love to suit up with that person if that was possible.
Thank you very much.
I think most of the audience will agree with that as well. Jack.
Hi, Jack.
again.
Hello, Jack. My question is more, is there any chance I can come over and shake your hand or give you a cuddle? I really want to annoy my brother. His name is also Charlie, and you're the only other person called Charlie I would willingly want to give a cuddle to.
Yeah, come on then, mate. It's just the fact that you called it a cuddle, you know.
Not everybody though, not everybody. It's just, you have to have the same name.
Hello, my name's Max.
Hey, Max.
Big Daredevil fan. If Daredevil and Batman had a fight, who do you think will win?
What do you think I'm going to say? I back Daredevil. Although, depends which Batman. Because Christian Bale seems like a badass, you know.
Old Michael Keaton. There you go.
Yeah.
That's your question. Who do you think would win?
I'll take on Clooney with the nipples.
Who would you go for? Great.
Batman.
Oh! whole room just turned against you there, Max. Next up.
Hi, I'm Ewan. I was just wondering because there was back to scene footage where your stunt double was particularly impressed with how much of the stunts you were able to do, particularly in the church scene. So I was just wondering, do you have like a favourite stunt you were able to do, or like a stunt you were most impressed by?
Yeah, so the prison fight in season 3 was that's most of that is me, and I'm proud of that because it was such a long take. It's like I think it's like 12 minutes or something, and you know that's a true oneer. So we couldn't. There's no editing in that. That is the same take. So it was a pretty cool feat. You know, it took us a week to learn, and we had 2 days to film it. It was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one. Yeah. That's not to take away anything from Chris, my stunt double, who's done so many of the unbelievable work on the show.
Thank you. Next up, if you want to just point the microphone to your mouth, it just makes it so we can hear you. There we go.
Hi, my name's Eva. I'm a writer who met you in the days of Ace Comic Con and Betrayal on Broadway, and I finished my trilogy. These are my science fiction fantasy books, 3 and
for you.
extra. So I'm wondering, what are some of the descriptives, without asking too much, that you would use to describe your story and character world these days? You've been in a lot of different stories, from fantasy to comics, and an amazing variety. How would you describe what you're doing in story and in character?
In what? In life?
In your career, whatever it is you're working on.
Big question, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I guess I'm fortunate enough that I've worked enough that I'm interested in variation. I recently just did a rom-com, which I haven't done before, and that was in my own accent and very similar to Me, Charlie. So it was fun to kind of explore that world as an actor. Basically anything, anything that can kind of. I love playing Daredevil. I feel very grateful to have that role. I can't believe they're still letting me do it after this amount of time. Just any variation really. I love all genres. I love all tones. I love all. I love basically relationships between characters, and it doesn't really matter if that's a fantasy film or a very baked-in kind of truthful story. I'm happy either way.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Go to Charlotte.
Cheers. There we go.
Hi, I'm Emma. My question is that it's been almost 20 years since Stardust was released. Looking back and reflecting, has your relationship with the film changed? And particularly in any aspects of the production, can you appreciate them more or less now you've had the chance to work on different projects?
Yeah, so funnily enough, I hadn't seen that film for 15 years, probably. And I sat down with my kids the other day and we watched the first half. And the reason we only watched the first half is because they didn't really want to keep watching it. I think maybe when they get a bit older they'll appreciate it. But so we watched the first half, and obviously big, blast from the past for me. And a couple of things that jumped out, that's the set where the witches live, which is based on Versailles, the witches' lair. That feels like of a time where the movie industry had unlimited money, because they built that in a studio, and so the production value of that film just blows my mind. I was so young at the time. I hadn't done many projects, so I didn't really know. I just took it all in my stride. And it's pretty odd to see me fencing with De Niro and doing that stuff. At the time, obviously, I was really excited, but you can't really compute that, you know. Yeah, really interesting to see how the industry has kind of changed a little bit, and how fortunate we were back then to be able to have that kind of, what felt like to me like an unlimited spending capacity and stuff. I remember, it's an odd thing to say, but like I remember at the time feeling quite embarrassed by some of my performance of it. Like I felt when we'd watched the film, there were like scenes that I didn't like watching. I felt really embarrassed by them because I felt like, I don't know, they felt very young and immature and naive and stuff. And I have to say, watching it now with a lot of distance, like, he's quite sweet, Tristan. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. I'm okay with it. I wasn't as horrified as I thought I'd be. Like I remember really not liking the scene with Sienna Miller at the picnic. You know, where we talk about Humphrey going to Ipswich and all that. I remember just thinking like, I was really embarrassed by it. But I watched it and I thought it's quite sweet. They're quite sweet. You know, it's very earnest. So yeah, it was cool to watch. You know. It's lovely that people still remember it and think about it and talk about it so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Emma.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Full-on Daredevil costume, loving that.
This guy gave me some batons.
Yeah, there you go. So firstly, Charlie, we've seen you as a defender. My dream is to see you as an Avenger. We have to see you as an Avenger at some point. Looking up from what's coming from Born Again, it feels though we're leading to Devil's Reign with Wilson Fisk as the mayor or anything like that. But I just wanted to know if there's anything from the comics that you wanted your character to portray. So, like in the comics lately, they've gone quite outlandish that he's gone to hell. He became Heimdall in one of the stories. Is there any of his backstory or comics that you personally are like, I'd love to tackle that?
Okay. So in general, we can't tell a story from the comics, and I think there's probably licensing reasons for that. So we can you know, pay an homage to a certain run, but it's always going to be a bit different. And also, I think from a storytelling point of view, it should be, because otherwise, it's just the narrative will be a foregone conclusion. And there won't be any surprises, so it's good to kind of stray a little bit. There isn't like a run that I want to do, but there are elements to the story, to the iconic elements of a Daredevil story that I like to try. I'd like it to try and get in there. I do think it would be fun at some point to see Matt Murdock leave New York. I don't know where, but you know, there are certain storylines where he goes off into the Far East, and there's some pretty cool stuff. I remember, I think there's some pretty cool stuff with 10 Fingers.
Some ninja stuff.
There's a lot of cool ninja stuff. Yeah. I think it's in the Brubaker Lark stuff where he goes to prison, gets himself arrested and goes to prison in order to get to Fisk. I've always thought that's a good idea, that'd be a cool idea. So there are some characters I'd like to see prop up, or like I'd like to explore more stuff with certain characters. There's some stuff, but there's other stuff I don't want to say, because again, once I've said it, I just don't know, right?
I have to say, one of the things I also want to see you in is a white Daredevil suit with the flaming batons in hell.
That'd be cool.
That would be sick.
That'd be cool.
Thanks,
That'd be cool.
I love the guy behind you. His eyes lit up when you said that. Oh, please. What's your question?
So, before the series concluded back in 2018, the original, did you ever keep a souvenir for yourself from the set?
Have you stolen, basically?
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that happened was I went to a fundraiser for the American Foundation for the Blind, and they asked me if I could donate something for a silent auction. No, not a silent auction, an auction. And so I went to the production. This was back in the day when, after season 1, I went to the production and said, "Can you give me anything?" And they gave me a pair of glasses from the show. So I donated them to the auction. And then when we showed up, my wife and I showed up at the event, and there were all these things that the people had donated, like, you know, a dinner at a restaurant, a trip on a yacht, and one of the items that you could bid on were my glasses. So people were kind of bidding on things and whatever, and then we went to go and sit down to have dinner. And when we went to sit down to have dinner, I looked at the glasses, and the bid was like $200 or something. So I was like, what? So the dinner was at 8:30, and the auctions closed at 9. So at 8:55, I went back to check it, and it was still at 200. So I bid 300. I was like, they're worth more than that, and I want them, you know. So I won the glasses. So when I went at the end, I had to go and claim them. And the woman was at the table. She was like, "Right, what did you win?" She didn't know who I was. She was like, "What did you win?" And I went, "I believe I won the Daredevil glasses." And she went, "All right, great." And she goes, "Okay, so you're going to contact this person, and he's gonna get them to you." I was like, "Great, thank you very much." And she handed me a piece of paper with my name and telephone number. So I was like, I'll be sure to do that. Yeah, so I've got some glasses, and then I've got a couple of batons. I think that's it. I don't have any like cows or anything like that. Maybe I should try and get one of them.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.
What happened to the suit that you couldn't use at the beginning? Have you got that?
Oh yeah, I don't know, but I know that the suits from the first couple of seasons were auctioned off, because Steve DeKnight got one, I think. I read that Steve DeKnight, who was the showrunner in the first season, he owns one. I've also seen someone at a convention in America wearing the vigilante suit, and he had a certificate to prove that the vigilante suit he was wearing was the one from the show. He'd bought it. Yeah, but I was like, "Why are you wearing it then? Shouldn't it be framed or something?"
Yeah, don't ruin it.
Don't spill coffee on it, can you? Imagine hot dog.
Next question, what's your name? What's your question?
Okay, so I'm pretty nervous, so I hope my English doesn't stop working now.
Sorry, what did you say? No, I'm not understanding.
Okay, so since you mentioned see, it works. Since you mentioned the outfit you wore in season 1, the black one, I have a question regarding that. And the question is, how did they do that with the headpiece? Like, were you able to see through it? Or?
Yeah, so in daylight, I could see enough through the gauze, like the black gauze. The problem is, Matt Murdock Daredevil doesn't fight in daylight.
Yeah.
And he often is in a very dark basement somewhere. So what we'd have to do is we'd have to cut holes, and then they would put the CGI would put the black in afterwards. Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically almost impossible to recreate in real life, I assume.
In a dark room it is, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I also wanted to say something else. After I was at your place with all the autographs, your mother came to me and my girlfriend and chat a bit with us, and I just wanted to tell you that your mother is really lovely. And
that's very nice.
Greetings to your mother.
It's all about you.
Yeah, she's good people.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Next up.
Hello again.
Hi.
So my question is, have you ever considered trying your hand at voice acting for an animated series or video game? And if so, what type of character would interest you? Like maybe in Brazil?
So, you're French?
Yeah. You can hear it.
I'm not allowed to talk about it yet, I don't think, but I did just voice the character for a very cool video game, a French video game.
Okay.
Yeah. So the creator is French, and the character's name is French, and I did the voiceover for it. And it was really fun, but it was quite difficult, but it was really fun to do. And I'm not a gamer, but I'm probably going to try and play that game, because it's going to be my voice, you know? So yeah, no, good question, but I have just done that recently. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up.
Hi. Out of all your costumes in the show, which one's your favourite?
Well, it's difficult because I like the change, you know. I like the variation. You know, the black vigilante one was just so cool to me, and also really easy to wear. The red is iconic. When we did the She-Hulk and they did the gold, you know, just because by then I was such a fan of the character, it was fun to kind of have that moment where you kind of pay homage to the original red and yellow. The new suit is pretty cool color, very very well made. So yeah, it's just fun to have, you know, played all the hits. And then, as someone else was saying earlier on, it'd be cool to see a couple others. Thanks, mate.
See you later. Thanks for your question. Next up, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, Charlie. My name's Emma. My question is that dating my beautiful boyfriend Matthew, who's not here, has really opened my eyes to the reality of walking through life with visual impairment and how hard that can be. Has, you know, playing a blind character done the same for you? Do you feel you're now more of an ally? Has it changed your perception on things like that?
Yeah, I mean, again, one of the amazing byproducts of this character is the affiliation that I now have with, you know, the visually impaired community, and you know, I feel very kind of humbled by people that I've spoken to who have been, I don't know how to say this, but been grateful for the portrayal and how much attention to detail there has been from the production in regards to that. You know, I think when Daredevil came out, it was the first Netflix show to have audio description, and now most shows on the channel have audio description. So that was a big deal, you know, getting that approved. You know, I worked with a gentleman called Joe Strecci, who's himself blind and is a blind coach, and you know, it was really incredibly informative, but also like very humbling to learn about how difficult so much of that life can be. And you know, I guess I think you just assume that there are lots of things that are kind of in place to help and protect people who have vision impairment, and the truth is, a lot of the times it's not there. You know, just crossing the street in New York is a nightmare. I mean, an absolute nightmare. He took me out one day and I was blindfolded, and he's blind, so it was a literal example of the blind leading the blind. And you know, they say, you know, someone had said to me, you know, well, what you do, you go up to the curb and you listen for the traffic to stop. But you can't do that in New York. The traffic doesn't stop. There's so much noise. You've got no sense. So if you're at a major junction, yeah, maybe there's a crossing path. But most streets there isn't. You know, the back streets, and so it's really scary. You know. Yeah, so look, I mean, there's amazing advancements being made, and it's cool to be aware of what those are. And you know, the last time I saw Joe, he had a pair of glasses on, a new pair of glasses, which obviously he doesn't need. And I was like, what are those glasses for? And he went, oh, check this out, it's really cool. So we're standing on the side of a street, and on the side of the glasses, there's like a little camera and a button. And he pressed the button, and he said to someone, "Yeah, hi there. Sorry, I'm a bit lost. Can you just tell me where I am?" So he had these glasses that had a camera and an audio element, and he pays a subscription monthly to this service. And anyone who has the glasses, he pays a subscription. And he pressed the button, and suddenly he's got GPS location to someone behind a computer, who can say, "Oh, hi Joe. Right, so I can see that this is the corner on the street you are right now. You're facing south. There's a shop across the road. There's a coffee shop. It's called this. and they could see where he was, they knew where he was, and they could help guide him to wherever he needed to go or whatever he needed help with. It was really amazing, you know. So it's a real honour that to be associated with that.
Thank you, very interesting.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sam. Next up, we've got.
Hi again, Charlie. It's George. First of all, before I ask my question, are you familiar with Team Raid?
I am, yeah.
If you were asked to do a Team Raid movie with Ryan Reynolds and a Spider-Man of your choice, what Spider-Man would it be, and would you say yes?
I would say yes. I'm not gonna comment on the Spider-Man.
Really? No comment. No.
I like them all, man. I mean, Toby's the OG. Andrew's one of my best friends, and brilliant. And Tom is the right age and also brilliant. You know, as I wouldn't want to pick.
And can I just ask one more question?
Yeah.
If you can give 2 words that don't spoil anything of Daredevil Born Again, like a 2-word review, could you give us one?
I haven't seen it. Okay, 3 words. I haven't seen. No, 4 words. I haven't seen it.
Brilliant.
Sorry, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the question. Luna.
Hey Charlie.
Hey mate.
You put me in a head.
I remember.
Yeah. I was just.
He asked me to be clear.
I did.
I wasn't just abusing him.
He was very aggressive. With having to play a blind character, did it actually affect you in your real life? Like, cause I've heard a rumour that you went to an audition and you forgot to look at the people in the eyes.
Yeah, there is some truth to that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. But yeah, that was pretty much it. If like portraying a blind character.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think of it all day, every day. I have to do something different to what I'd always done. You know, every take of every scene, I have to be aware of what my eyes are doing. And so, you know, after 2 seasons of the show, it's, you know, 26 episodes. Yeah, I did a couple of auditions where they were like, "What are you looking at?" Oh, sorry. That's a difficult one.
Yeah. That's right. Doctor Who. What's your question?
Well, firstly, this is going to make my best mate so jealous, so thank you. Also, I have a question in cosplay and out of cosplay. So firstly, I'm Nicola. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Nicola.
My question to you out of cosplay is, Daredevil and She-Hulk were so cool. Like, wow. Any of the Marvel superhero you think Daredevil would like to meet with on occasion? It's a bit of a cheeky question, I know.
Well, I know that he has a history with Black Widow.
Yeah.
So I'm open to that.
Because it's Scarlett Johansson. And then my question in cosplay as the Doctor. My 6th incarnation has a pesky trial with Time Lords. Do you think Matt Murdock could represent me? Because that would be really handy.
I mean, that's a massive universe jump.
It would be a great universe jump, though.
Sure, why not?
That'd really help me out. Cheers, bud.
I'm very expensive.
Pro bono.
Who's your question?
Not in that universe, I'm not.
Next up.
Hi, my name is Caitlin. As well as being a fan of Daredevil, I'm also a fan of Boardwalk Empire. So my question, and you joined in.
Not a single whoop then, did you? Not one.
You joined the show.
Okay, we got one.
And you joined the show in season 2. So what was it like joining the show in the 2nd season and working with those actors?
Yeah, it was very cool. I mean, there's so many amazing actors in that show. I was so thrilled to be invited to come along and had such a good time. You know, Steve Buscemi is one of the nicest people I've ever met, and also, you know, a hero of mine. So, you know, and it was also the job that kind of led to Daredevil. You know, like I I was told that one of the chief creative officers at Marvel watched the scene with me garroting a guy in a bathroom, and it was that scene that made him think I'd be good for Daredevil. So it's pretty cool, yeah. Yeah, amazing experience, and you know, it took me to New York for the first time, and you know, yeah, it was brilliant.
Thank you so
I had a lot
much.
of fun making that show. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you. Another question, please.
Hey Charlie, my name's Aidan. My question is maybe incarnation of you, but it's a Doctor Who question.
A what?
A Doctor Who question. So
Yeah.
the question is, so if the Doctor came to you, showed up in the TARDIS, and said, do I come for a ride in the TARDIS? Where would you like to? Where and when would you like to go, and why? Like you want me one famous anything?
So, I haven't seen Doctor Who. I know.
There was going to be a gasp then.
I know. What? So, apologies. But I'm guessing the question is, if I could go anywhere in time and space, where would it be?
Yeah, like you want to go anywhere and meet someone famous, something like that.
God, that's a massive question. I think can you go in the future? Can you go forward?
Well, forward, backwards in time, multiverse.
You know, I'd probably go forward a few years and see if I'm going to be an Avenger or not. That's a bit lame and selfish, isn't it?
No,
forget world peace. It's more. I don't know. Yeah, are Arsenal going to win the league? Those kind of things, probably.
I'm a Celtic fan.
There you are. Probably going to win the league.
Yeah. And just to say, as someone with a impairment, I'm deaf in one ear, and shockingly I was supposed to be born fully deaf and blind, so I kind of lucked out there just a little. So the way you portray Matt Murdock, Daredevil, you really inspire that fact that your disabilities don't have to be a disadvantage, or it doesn't have to stop you from, you know, being who you are, doing whatever you want. So I just want to say thanks for that, for me and anyone else who has impairments, that you give us that confidence and that inspiration.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's very kind. I mean, that is not me. That's the character, and I think that is why Daredevil resonates with people, so many people all over the world. Because I think that there's a few things about Matt Murdock that I think are very special, but probably the main one is that idea that in the face of great adversity, he still can triumph and excel, you know, and any hope that can give to anyone, I think, is invaluable, to myself included. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whenever you face any adversity in your life, if there's a possibility for you to look at that and say, here are the pluses, here are the things that actually, these are the ways in which I might benefit here, or I can make the most of this. It's really important, and you said it about your deafness, so thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. I just want to think, I think I wear this suit better than you did. So.
I think you do too.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Cheers. You too. Appreciate you, mate.
We've got time for one more question. We're just on overrun now, so this
but your trousers are tucked into the back of your shoes, so that's a little minus
This is a non-Daredevil question.
God. Is it a Doctor Who question?
Sort of related to that, but in 2013 you were in a film called Hail Carter with Jodie Whittaker. What was the overall experience on that film and working with Jodie?
I love Jodie Whittaker. I loved working with her. She's awesome. And you know, sadly we've kind of lost touch, but I wish her, every time I see her pop up, I wish her all the best, and so happy to see all of her huge successes. She was great. I had loved doing that film. There was so many great actors in it, and it was one of the, I think it might have been the last time I worked in London. Oh no, I have since then, but it's one of the few things I've done in London in the last 15 years, in my own accent, very similar to who I am as a human. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. It's a very sweet, silly little rom-com, and I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we're going to have to finish there. I'm sorry.
Did you just curtsy?
We're going to finish on that one because we're already over.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry about that. But please, can we give a big round of applause for Charlie Cox on our panel? Thank you so much, Charlie. We're going to do a quick photo if we can get everybody in the background. If everybody wants to stand up.